You're watching The Wave. I'm Frank Kanchi. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump has halted the imposition of tariff about 36% on Thailand-made product. The fear in Thailand has shaken the country's economy. Joining me now is the chair of Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce, Ms. Vibeke Lyssand Leirvag, to give us insights about Thailand's business communities. Thank you for your time, Kun Vibeke.
Thank you very much, Frank. It's a pleasure to be on the show again.
Right, very challenging.
Difficult times.
Yes, very challenging and difficult times for us too. Just wondering, of course, U.S. President Trump imposed that tariff 36%. It's quite high. So what's the opinion in business communities in Thailand?
Well, I mean, we've been waiting for a while to when he should implement the tariffs, but I think nobody expected them to be as high as they were. A 36 reciprocal tariff, that is very high, and especially from a place like the US, who is a very important trading partner of Thailand. And you were asking if this will have any influence on foreign direct investors, and of course, it will touch the confidence on investment in general. I think not only in Thailand, but in general, it will be affecting it. So what I would say is that we will probably enter a time of wait and see, where investors will wait to see what negotiations the Thai government will take. They will wait for what the final taxes will be and how this will implement their investments and the stability of their investment. So I think what we can also find from some of the investors that are here is that they may consider to relocation of their businesses because of the taxes. So this is a very, very challenging time, but I think we've been lucky to have a little bit of a 90-day breathing room, which was announced that it's now going to be 10% for the next 90 days. If I can touch on a few areas, I would say the tariff on export will definitely be difficult. A lot of the raw material that we use within our supply chain, a lot of it will be higher in cost, which will make our product more expensive. And by that, our products less competitive. Areas like automotive, electronics, textiles, jewelry industry that I am in, and agriculture, we will definitely suffer because and the end consumer will have a more expensive product. So I think it's very, very important that during this time, the government have a very strong voice. When they negotiate, they have to make sure that they also keep the confidence in the investors that are here and also new investors looking at entering Thailand.
And have you heard any foreign investors, they are thinking about relocation at this point, or they are still, like what you said, wait and see until the final version of that tariff?
Well, absolutely. There will be companies that will find it less attractive to be here. But I think on the other side, there will also be investors that may want to come here. So it all depends on what the final taxes will be, and of course, parallel with what incentives the government is giving.
Right. Let's talk about government then. So what are the government policies that you want to see at this point? Because actually some economists say that we should import more from the US, or how to mitigate the impact to the economy. What's your sense?
I think it's a combination. I think we should analyze the trade balance with the US. I think we should look at if we can increase the imports. But what I think is very, very important is that the measures that the government put in place, they have to be practical. The finance minister, Pichai, he actually mentioned this, that it has to be practical, and I fully agree. And another thing that is important is that the government has to work very closely with the private sector, because I think we need to identify and prioritize what is important, so that the effect of the taxes will be as little as possible. I mean, we will have an increase in taxes, but we need to be sure that the effect is as little as possible. What we have to look at when we look at incentives during this time, the government needs to be agile. They need to look at the effect that it will have on, especially on exporters or industries that are touched by this. And we need to be sure that there's stimulus packages put in place for, in particularly SMEs or again industries that are strongly touched by this. Tax reliefs, as an example, or easy access to loans during a short period. This will be very important. But I think measures that are put in place and incentives that are put in place at all time, it needs to be not too complicated. It needs to be something that we can put in place. For example, access to finance is not easy. We may say that we need to have it fast, but it takes many months for a bank to evaluate if you qualify for the loan. So this is something that we don't have time for in this interim period, at least. And I think parallel with it, I think we need to focus on strengthening the regional trade. The regional trade is very important during this time because a lot of commodities may come from the region. And I think free trade agreements open up for new markets. So free trade agreements, we have the Sri Lanka agreement. BIMSTEC was just here. Sri Lanka agreement should take effect. EFTA should hopefully take effect soon, and maybe conclude on agreements with EU and, for example, UAE. Those are areas that can open for new markets and new opportunities for Thailand.
So what you said, of course, the access to financial support is very important here because many startups or just new businesses, sometimes they just want to get funding in Thailand, but it will just be so difficult. Another part, I think we have to talk about something some economists also pointed out about the advantage during this time. What do you think about Thailand's advantage amid these uncertainties comparing to other countries? For example, Vietnam and Laos, they propose to lower the tariff on US-made product. Should Thailand follow?
Well, I think they've already said that they will give the grace period of 90 days on 10%. Vietnam, I believe it is at 0. I don't think Thailand should follow. I think Thailand needs to do their own negotiation at their own way. But I do believe that in every challenging time, there are opportunities. And I think now it's a time that we really need to strengthen the region. So there's lots of opportunities in the region. If you look at Thailand, our geographical location, we are in the middle of ASEAN. We have an access to not only the 70 million consumers in Thailand, but actually to 473, if I'm not wrong, million in ASEAN. And if you then add India in, I know Thailand is now starting their stronger relations with India. We're looking at an additional 1.5 billion consumers. So there are opportunities, but we need to go away from our standard market. Well, not go away. We need to continue the trade with those we have, but we need to also open up for new opportunities. And supply chain, as an example, I think is also an area where we can have opportunities. If we look at Thailand, Thailand is strong in manufacturing, especially in the automotive industry. But we may not be so strong in certain electronic parts. We need to then increase the trade. Vietnam, for example, is strong on that. So we need to start increasing the trade within ASEAN, within the region, and look at the trade agreements or the trade regulations that we have with those countries. So I believe there's lots of opportunities at the moment. But I do think one thing that is very, very important, I was in Vietnam a month ago, and one thing Vietnam is very strong at, and that's communication. We need to be strong in communication. The government needs to be very strong, both through BOI, EEC, but also to communicate the actions they take, to communicate the opportunities that are here, and make sure that we have a transparent communication on this so that we build that confidence that is needed.
Right. Thank you for your time, Vibeke. I understand that you now are very busy on talking to your foreign investor, your peers on the ground, and of course, communicating, as what you said, on this issue too. So today, thank you for your time. คุณ Vibeke Lyssand Leirvag here, Chair of Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce. Thank you.
Absolutely, Frank, and thank you so much. Happy Songkran to you. I take the opportunity to say that now. Adika.
สวัสดีครับ